We had heard of a hike through the jungle to reach the crater of a volcano. Apparently hiking was forbidden, but there was no enforcement by the police. So we decided to venture up. This video is a recounting of that experience and why I regret climbing this illegal volcano in Costa Rica. Before coming here, I was excited to venture out because I had never explored any part of the system of national parks and reserves, which cover about 25% of Costa Rica's land area. Costa Rica has a unique biological heritage, a product of millions of years of evolution, which showcases a spectacle of nature, unprocessed and undomesticated. You going this way? Where's Olivia? Although this country consists of only 0.03% of the Earth's surface, it contains nearly 6% of the world's biodiversity. Some species are only found in this part of the world, and therefore efforts to protect the environment take the shape of environmental policy, ecological practices by local citizens, and the enforcement of restricted areas for protection. Some areas protected by guards, and others unprotected by guards. Yeah, it was great. Alright, we're feeling good. It's hella muddy, and it's about to rain, so. Yep, I got it. Dude, look. Queen of the jungle right here, woo! We're enjoying ourselves in the wildness of the jungle, and none of us meant any harm. I just wanted to get an untouched wild experience of the landscape. I was looking for the essence of pura vida, the Costa Rican way of life, meaning pure life. We had tried looking for it in surfing in San Juan, and although we found it a bit, it wasn't so fruitful. We looked for it in the famous canyoning of Costa Rica, and although found some adventure, we wanted something a little bit more natural, a little more off track. Very muddy path with a lot of scrambling. I later learned that my off-track adventure and the clean air landscape of Costa Rica is due to Costa Rica being a leader in biodiversity preservation and climate change innovation. More than 99% of its energy is now renewable. Forest cover now stands at more than 53% after decades of work to reverse the effects of deforestation, and the government has implemented wide-ranging policies across tourism, eco-hotels, taxes, protected areas, and the funding of conservation groups. Costa Rica is now an example much of the world is looking to follow, after the UN named Costa Rica the champions of the earth in 2019. However, there are still problems. Specifically in Costa Rica, differences in precipitation and temperature caused by elevation create different ecosystems which are stacked on top of each other, which each have animals and plants that have adapted specifically to that environment, level of precipitation, and temperature level. One of the biggest concerns is that above 1,000 meters, a cloud layer constantly showers the plants and animals of each individual ecosystem, allowing them to survive through the dry seasons and adapt to their environment. Since they are highly dependent on changes to temperature and precipitation, these ecosystems are very vulnerable to the effects of climate change. In Costa Rica alone, temperatures have increased between 0.2 to 0.3 degrees Celsius per decade with a prolonged dry season. And for the rest of the world, fairly similar, increasing by 0.18 degrees Celsius on average since 1981. But why does this matter? Let's face it, these issues of climate change are overwhelming, and with the wealth of misinformation and controversy, it's no wonder most of us choose to not care. And once you hear that a majority of the environmental damage is being executed by large corporations, there's a sense of hopelessness. How can I even help? Why should anyone who's not an environmental activist educate themselves? What is the point if we're all doomed anyways? These are the questions I'm beginning to ask myself, but I've started to realize that the awareness of being overwhelmed and disconnected is the first step. Awareness that maybe there is something that you can do. Yeah, nothing happened. It was a decent hike and a nice swim, which I began to regret while researching more about this video. What's going on in Costa Rica is not just an example of impending doom. It's actually an example of innovation and a different way to look at the environment. Costa Ricans take great pride and joy in protecting their environment, pura vida, pure life, and it drives a connectivity to their community as well as their natural environment. So why should we care? It's the opportunity to grow community, take care of the natural environment, and make sure that the natural wonders around us are here for centuries to come. I'm just starting to re-engage with learning about climate change after being fairly disengaged and feeling hopeless. So if you have any resources, would like to have a conversation about it, or have any opportunities for engagement, feel free to message me at Amon Outside. This hike was actually originally closed to stop tourists from climbing Volcano Arenal and the ecological damage that would occur when tourists would attempt this dangerous hike. This volcano is not Volcano Arenal. Although our group left no visible ecological damage, I don't want to promote this hike because this is a place where the wild things should continue to stay wild.